All right, fans. All right, viewers. We made it here to the main event. That's right. Welcome back to Chaos Corner. It's the main event of the evening for Night 12, Round 1, an Avi Klein 64-person single elimination bracket-style tournament to see not only who will advance to Round 2, but ultimately to host the Green Room tournament and be a host of the Green Room itself. Now, we've been here. It's been a long day, a night into the next day. It's been a lot of fun. The energy and the passion is still there from Chaos Corner. That's what you get. So sit back. This may take a while, this segment. This is the main event of the evening. Now, Avi comes on and he talks about past main events. He talks about, can I say it, Avi? He talks about yours truly and Pinocchio Joe, the main event. He talks about Jamie Sparling and Mr. Main Event, David Holliday. He talks about even Alex and Dahlia. They were the main event at one time. There's been many main events on the previous 11 nights in the Green Room tournament. The Dark Castle. This is the main event for Night 12. Here we go. The Dark Castle presents it. It's first off, before Avi even gets going here, it's personal for Avi. You know that, right? Everyone knows that it's personal if you've been paying attention. Who's Jake? A family member? It must be. Klein was literally blackmailed by Taekwon. The self-proclaimed Young Don. You got a lot of grapefruits for calling yourself the Young Don, and you're from, where are you from, New York? I don't buy it. I don't buy you, Taekwon. I really don't. Jay Brony's been doing some research on you. I know, Taekwon. Trust me. He's made it very personal, like everything has gotten personal here on the Green Room. They both have secrets. Avi has secrets. Taekwon has secrets. A newbie not to the Green Room, but to the Green Room tournament. What is Taekwon hiding? That's what I took out of the beginning of the main event. We didn't get right onto the matchup. This is personal for Avi. Who's Jake? You got a lot of nerve lecturing everybody else about not making it personal in other matchups here, Klein. But it's not about me and you. And I'm hoping it won't be. There's mutual respect there. Let's leave that alone. Here we come with Mr. Jamie Sparling in the Battle of the Eliminated. Redemption in the best of 3 series. Avi decides and pulls out the photo of Jamie Sparling. And it's a best of 3 series between Taekwon, the Young Don, and Jamie Sparling. Now, fans, you might want to turn this episode off. You might want to turn this segment off as Chaos Corner because I'm going to get awfully edgy. I'm going to walk a fine line. I'm going to give you the real good, the bad, and the real ugly of this segment and this main event of Night 12 because I know you've been waiting for my report and my review on what happened in this controversial, highly controversial main event between these two. Not only is it personal between Avi and Taekwon, it's personal between Taekwon and Jamie. Historical, biblical, social. Everything was brought up in this matchup. Things that we don't always want to talk about. Things that we do talk about. Things that we're faced with in the world right now. We crossed a fine line on the Green Room and it turned into the Dark Castle. Competitors didn't follow direction. Competitors weren't experienced. It went over the line. But that's what happens in the Dark Castle. Issues were brought up that had nothing to do with nothing. That seems to be the state of affairs in the country that we're in right now. You can't say anything, and nobody's got thick skin. Everybody takes everything personal, and you give people a reason to use, whether it be their background, their ancestry, their race, their color, their creed, their culture, and they use that as an excuse, and that's the reason why something happens. It was a fine line in the main event. We're going to touch on it here. Don't go anywhere. Historical. Let's get on to the contest. Taekwon, you were an unknown fan. Know your role, homeboy. I'm Rick James, bitch. Know your role, Taekwon. As we move on, Avi does it again. He brings in the thoughts on the other competitors and the castmates and the people in the back of the green room to get their opinion and their viewpoint on the main event. I like that, Avi Klein. Remember, this is the second chance for Jamie Sparling. Second chance, Jamie. Do you have what it takes? You're a mentor, you're a teacher, you're a motivator. You're a man in great physical shape. Sweep the leg. I get it, Jamie Sparling. I respect you. Let's see what happens. Let's see who crosses the line first. So we go to Rich Masadi. Rich picks Jamie Sparling. Davis Jubilee picks Jamie Sparling. Miranda picks Jamie Sparling, although she says she doesn't really care. Both of them are irrelevant. We know where Pete's going to go when he judges. Hauser Odalak, in his weird way, picks Taekwon, I think. And believe it or not, Legion, Eric Heron, picked Taekwon. It's a second chance for Jamie Sparling. I'll have to say that. And then boom! Out of nowhere, Avi and TQ, Taekwon start bantering. Pete and Taekwon, it's been revealed that they have a history. I can't believe it. Everything has gotten personal. Everything has been twisted and turned. And what a web they've woven for themselves. There's history between Pete, Avi, Taekwon that we don't know about. Jake, who's got what on who? Where's the dirt? Who's the rat? You know the saying about people that keep secrets between three of them. The only time the secret is kept is when two of the three are gone. Think about that, Pete, Avi, Taekwon. What a shocking moment on the green room. Now I know why it's the Dark Castle. This is no joke. Avi tells Pete this. It's funny to hear these two give advice. He's going to sell you out. Don't trust him. Plain and simple about Taekwon. Taekwon says, what? Avi says, no. Don't bring him up. Right there. When Taekwon says, say what? Right there is when he was about ready to expose something. And Avi cut him off. There's a lot going on here in the green room in the main event. Let's go to the video montages. Again, award-winning. It's unbelievable. We talk about the history of how Jamie Sparling was eliminated by longtime friend. And now I don't know if they're frenemies, enemies, I don't know. But he was eliminated once already and has been saved and redeemed. He did lose to David Holliday in the best of three. That's how Holliday got into the winner's circle and created that whole segment. And you see what Holliday's embroiled in now. You may be an afterthought pretty soon, David Holliday. So they talk about that illustrious, historical, bitter feud between former friends, frenemies, whatever you want to call them, between Howard and, David and Jamie. They all have history. They're all intertwined. We all know that. We've learned that from Taekwon, too, now. Here we go. Oh, Jamie is once again wearing the Bruce Lee shirt. I'll give you credit, Jamie. I love the Bruce Lee shirts that you happen to come up with, my friend. I will say that. Jamie actually cuts off the contest in the main event to begin with. I guess everybody here, social media, we know how crazy it is. We know what's going on all these different platforms. So I guess Taekwon has been going back and forth with a little rap version, poking Jamie, poking the bear, so to speak. So out of nowhere, unbeknownst to anyone, to even Avi Klein himself, Jamie Sparling comes up with his own rap song. Not bad, Sparling. I'll give you credit. Oh, man, he talks about checkers and chess and step off. I mean, those were the highlights. Not bad, Jamie Sparling. Not bad. I'll give you credit. So that's how we started off the main event. Here we go. Avi wasn't impressed and said, come on, Tornado, step it up. Avi was pulling for Jamie. There's no secret because of the whole Jake factor. Jamie said, oh, hold on, it's coming. Now, Jamie's been accused of this before, of being too cerebral. We go on to the first challenge. It's a promo challenge. And in this promo challenge, You have to, Avi pulls out the photo of a competitor, and then you have to see that person on the screen and cut a promo. Now, all these photos are of people that have gone on to the second round. So when Avi pulls out the promo, either Taekwon or Jamie in the main event have to cut a promo using certain words. Now, they're both going to do the same promo, and it's how and why you'll beat them. Taekwon goes first. Using giggling in this first promo, Taekwon has to cut a promo on one of all people in the second round, and that would be one El Gigante, Relentless Rock Richards. So Taekwon doesn't really cut great promos. I'll give him credit. He's a natural. He's got charisma. He may have information. He may be blackmailing people. He may have secrets on everybody. But promos may not be your thing, TQ. The Young Don may not be your thing. I'm giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you don't like it, get lost. So he has to giggle on Relentless Rock Richards in the promo. In turn, the first promo video photo for Jamie, he has to cut a promo on, of all people, Pastor Andy McDaniel while chewing food. We go back to Taekwon and his second promo photo challenge. He has to cut a promo on one Winner Circle host, Rich Monocotti Masadi, while screaming, bah! Perhaps the worst promo I've ever seen anyone ever deliver in the green room. And that's a shoot. We go on to the second promo for Jamie Sparling of the photos, and he has to do this one while dancing, and it's a promo of a real American hero who's already in the second round, who defeated Maintaining the Truth, Pretty Paul Roma, and that's one Stephen Lee. I salute you, sir. So Jamie does a little dipsy-do back and finish while doing a photo with Stephen Lee while dancing, cutting a promo. Not bad, Jamie Sparling. In the third promo for this challenge, the photo challenge, why you're going to beat someone, how you'll beat them, this is where Taekwon shined. I'll give him credit for that. I'm here to give the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, you know that face value is Bill DeMott and Taekwon have history. We saw the swerve with Crowbar. It is what it is. He has to, his photos pulled out, and now Taekwon has to cut a promo on Bill DeMott while singing, and I'll give you credit, Taekwon. Man, you had the pipes, bro. I'll tell you, you knocked it out of the box. It sounded like I was at Showtime at the Apollo, or maybe American Idol. But you did well, Taekwon, on the singing promo challenge of the photo of Bill DeMott. In turn, while combing his hair, Jamie Sparling has to cut a promo. I'm good at combing hair. Cut a promo on David Holliday, his old longtime rival and friend. So those were a pretty interesting way of doing things with Avi, with the photo on second rounders here in the tournament, and doing different things, whether it's giggling, screaming, singing, combing your hair, dancing, and chewing food. Not bad. Here, let's go to the votes. First off, and I'm giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And this was said. Avi expected more. He said it right there in front of almost 1.5 million people and every castmate in the back and everybody watching at home. He wants more from both of them. They didn't give him enough. That's what Avi said. I'm giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's go to the votes. Pete votes for Taekwon. Avi is going to vote for Sparling. We know that. In turn, we go to the backstage in the green room. Rich Masadi votes for Jamie. Davis Jubilee votes for Taekwon. Hauser Odalak votes for Taekwon. Eric votes for Jamie. So it's tied up. We're tied. We go to the fans, and I say it all the time here on Chaos Corner. All your live votes matter on every show, every Saturday Night Live. That's why I say it. We go to the fans. They go back and forth. Jamie, Taekwon, Taekwon, Jamie, Jamie, Taekwon, Jamie. It's deadlocked. But he ekes it out, and the newbie, Taekwon, the young Don, wins by fans' vote. But I'm going to say it with an addendum. Just like happened to me. And I'm here to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Jamie Sparling got screwed in the votes. Just about every vote that Jay Brony told me came in, and I saw the screenshots, 8 out of 10 were for Jamie Sparling, and he should have won this matchup. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. Taekwon, he could sing. He couldn't cut a promo to save his life. Jamie Sparling stepped it up and proved it. I know Avi wasn't happy. But he was well-rounded. A little cerebral, I'll give you that, Klein. Unbelievable what happened here. Let's continue with the main event. Here we are at Chaos Corner, Night 12 main event. Jamie Sparling and Taekwon, the young Don. The next game, the next challenge Avi comes up with is games. Did I say next challenge, next game? You get the point. Avi and Taekwon continue to banter. It shows you how personal this has gotten between the boss of the green room, let's face it, and some guy that just was a fan who's now in the tournament, Taekwon. But there's a relationship there. There's a lot of secrets. It's going to be exposed. Here we go to the games challenge of the main event. It's the old hot potato story time game. I'm going to try to explain it to you. I've tried to explain it to you before in other matches in the first round. Avi comes up with a hot potato storyline. Avi's going to start it. You create a story with words, and then you finish it, and you add, and you say pass to the next person, and they say finish. So that's what it is. Avi's going to start it. You create a story with words. Then, when you're done, you say finish, and you say pass to the next person who does the same thing and says finish and pass, and it's a hot potato, hot potato. You got to keep it moving, hot potato. You remember the game? So here are the words. Here's the first challenge. Avi's going to start it off. For Jamie, he has to use the words flour, toilet, and horse teeth. Flour, toilet, horse teeth. In turn, Taekwon has to use wife, Boston Celtics, and trust fund. Trust fund, Boston Celtics, and wife. Here we go with the hot potato, and it gets way over the line. Taekwon drags it over the line. He's gotten way too personal. He's disrupted this whole tournament. He's brought all kinds of outside issues and social issues that had nothing to do with nothing into this tournament. He crossed the line. That's simple. He really made it personal. So Avi again goes on to the next challenge. It's still the games. Avi's going to start first with the hot potato, and he's going to use the words frog, James Brown, and potatoes. Frog, James Brown, and potatoes. So there we go with the hot potato game. Taekwon in the second challenge is going to have the words Mrs. Peanut Butter and Conan the Barbarian. In turn, Jamie for the second game has to use Bruce Lee, Willy Wonka, and ginger ale. I hope you're paying attention. I hope, like Avi says, you have a notebook and a pen right next to you here in the main event for night 12. Once again, Taekwon crosses the line and gets it personal and doesn't follow direction. And I don't know if he's a team player. I don't know if he belongs in the green room. I don't know if he belongs in the dark castle. He has a lot of secrets on a lot of dirt and a lot of people. Certainly not on me. He represented himself well. He's got charisma. He's a natural. I'll give him credit. But this may have been the ugliest main event in the history of the green room. And I'm going to say it. It got personal. From Avi to Pete to Taekwon to Jamie and everything in between, bringing in societal issues. I don't like it. So we go on to the backstage of the green room and we go to the votes. Pete votes for Taekwon. Davis Jubilee votes for Jamie. Rich Monacotti votes for Jamie. Legion Eric votes for Jamie. Odalak refers to something like a left and a right and a little rabbit punch or something like that by Taekwon, and he votes for Jamie. In turn, Miranda surprisingly voted for Taekwon. Remember that? Keep that in the back of your head. Don't trust anyone in the green room. I'll say that. Jamie Sparling has a lot of support from the green room. A lot of support from his castmates. A lot of support in the Dark Castle. Remember that, Sparling? And who voted for who? We move on to the main event. Here's what happened with the voting. Jamie tied it up. The votes came in. Jamie ties. It's 1-1 now. Sudden death challenge. That's why I keep saying about the votes in the comments, and even the cast members and competitors are involved now in the voting. It's not just Pete and Avi anymore. RG's persona non grata. Jamie ties at 1-1. We go into the final challenge. I don't know, sudden death, if you will, is tied up. We go into the final challenge here in the main event. The topic is debate. Taekwon goes first. Now, convince why Jamie would be better off as a shoelace salesman than competing in the tournament. Let me say that again because, again, I'm not going to break it down. You know what happened if you watched it live. Taekwon has to convince the masses why Jamie would be better off as a shoelace salesman than competing in this tournament, and Taekwon goes overboard again and gets personal and crosses the line. Here we go. In turn, Jamie has to say, why wave white flags and surrender? Just do it. Give up. You don't belong here. he says, throw the white flag up. I'm not playing nice here. I'm not following here. Give up. It's kind of personal. And Taekwon says things that I didn't think that you would say. And he's not going to bring Jake up again. That's what he claims. He claimed that he wouldn't bring Jake up again. I'm getting my information correct here. But he said his fingers were crossed. What the hell does that mean, Taekwon? You've broken every rule in the green room and in the main event. You turned it up a notch, that's for sure. Not in a good way. Jamie starts talking about different things. They banter back and forth. They really touch on several issues here that were not involved and really have nothing to do with nothing, but that's how personal, that's how dark it gets in. It really is. So we move on with the challenge, and Jamie throws out a couple of comments, and he says, don't be so cocky, because if you were in my dojo, Taekwon, I'd show you about respect. And then he quotes Mike Tyson. That's how serious and personal this got between Taekwon and Jamie Sparling in the main event. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And that's what Jamie Sparling quoted to Taekwon, the young Don. In other words, he'll kick your ass. You come up to my dojo and talk that kind of smack. Yeah, it got real. Real. Respect. Family. Seems to be a theme. Sparling talks about it's here to have fun, to learn. We go one-on-one behind closed doors, homeboy. Mano y mano, you understand? Step off. Ain't no half-stepping, Taekwon. Let me tell you something. I saw it in Jamie. That's for sure. That's what Klein's talking about. In turn, we go to the fans, okay? A lot of different things are happening. We go backstage. Rich votes for Jamie. Davis says it got really ugly in here, bringing up history and all that. You'll go anywhere, Taekwon. I've already said it. Davis Jubilee confirms it. Davis votes for Jamie. In turn, Odalak votes for Jamie. Eric, the Murder Hornet, if you will, comes on and says, choices, choices. And surprisingly votes for Taekwon. Miranda, once again, is brought in. It's no longer Serene. She votes for Taekwon. It's gotten ugly. It's gotten real ugly. I don't know what's going on here. Pete ends up voting for Taekwon. Why? Because he's got something on you, Pete. What's going on here in the main event? This may be the most confusing main event that I've ever been involved in and watched. And then you talk about what I went through with Joe. And you know what happened there. Everything from poison to gunshots. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this. The bottom line is the fans vote. And I say it all the time. We go back and forth. Taekwon, Jamie, 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 Jamie. I'm going to tell you, the fans, in my opinion, in Jay's opinion, and everyone else's opinion, including the green room in the back, you saw it live. Jamie Sparling won by the fan votes and by the castmates' votes. But it came down to it, and Avi, for whatever reason, personal or not, the fans voted for Taekwon, and Taekwon, the young Don, is up 1-0, and he defeats Jamie Sparling in the main event of night 12. I can't believe it. Taekwon, with all his underhandedness and all the issues he brought up and turned everything ugly about things that have nothing to do with nothing, Taekwon, the fans voted him in. Some of the castmates in the back of the green room voted him in. And Taekwon is now up 1-0 in a best of 3 against Jamie Sparling, who's already been eliminated once. Avi goes insane. It was tied with the cast. I can't even believe it. Avi literally went insane. I've never seen Avi Klein like that before. It really, I can't believe it. Jamie comes on at that point, and he reads Taekwon the Riot Act. And he says, don't bring up family. And again, that's the theme here in the Dark Castle. Everyone has gotten ugly. Taekwon says, hey, man, this is good times. Y'all remember Tom and Jerry, your moms? Gotta leave sometime. Hey, I'm in this to win this. I'm out. And that's it. The main event is over. In the best of 3, Taekwon, the young Don, upsets Jamie Sparling in an ugly matchup. Stay tuned. We're leaving the main event. And I got some few surprises and shocks and twists and turns at the end of Night 12, Round 1. I hope you enjoyed the show. Chaos Corner, the guardian of chaos. Don't you dare miss it.